crappy jumper cables. Everybody comes across them. They're next to useless because of the way they terminate the ends. If you can see that, all they do is they fold the wire over and kind of crimp the insulation and that down onto it, hoping that makes a contact with the clip. Now the problem with this is, one, the cable in this case is copper, which is quite rare, especially with today's ones, and so that corrodes and oxidizes, and it's not a very tight connection to start with against the steel. It's just crimped onto the plastic, as you can see. It's rather rubbish. So what happens, you clip them on, you start to use them, and then you end up with this sort of mess. Come on, focus. Where you can see it's just all melted and next to useless. Loads of smoke, no turning, no cranking of the engine, just rubbish. So how do we fix this? How do we stop throwing these away and go and buy another crappy pair? Well, I looked at this and I thought, this is actually quite easy. Let's just solder them on. So all I drilled a hole in the clip. I stripped the cable back to get some clean copper, and I'll show you on this one. Sorry. Crimp the actual insulation down using their method of holding it together. Just crush it up in the vise there till it's nice and tight, and then the copper side we can solder onto the clip. Now maybe some of you are saying, well, that's fine, but how do you solder it onto the clip? Well, all you need is a handheld blow lamp, some soldering flux, just boring standard old flux, and some solder. Now I've done this one. I'll close this one up and then I'll do another one. I'll try and show you how I do it. Okay, I've wedged the camera up into place now. So this is what I do. A screwdriver in here. You can see how loose this cable is. You know, it's actually moving about inside their crimp, and it wouldn't be long before this end started smoking as well. And I mean, these cables have hardly been used. Look, you can see all the heat and corrosion that's occurred there. So let's cut this off. You want to cut off the bad bit of cable. Get yourself a knife, run that round. Try not to cut into the copper. You sort of get a feel for this. If you just put enough pressure on there to cut the insulation, you should leave the core nice. And as you take it off, just give it a twist. Right, now we need to turn the clip over. We need to drill a hole about here. Just big enough to take the cable, and I like to just angle it a bit so when the cable comes through from the other side, it's not a really acute 90-degree angle. That should do. So, get our cable, feed it through our hole, just work the insulation back into there like that, and then I'm trying to do this so you can see it on the camera, which makes it a little bit more awkward, but here we go. Just sort of crimp all that back up. You can use a pair of pliers if you haven't got a vise. You know, this is all right. When you've got that nice and tightly held, then clip back in there, get that into place. Get a piece of solder, get some flux, just smear it all on there. Get a half decent cover in there, something like that. Take our blow lamp. Heat it up until you see the solder flow. And that's pretty much it. I like to clean off the excess flux with a damp cloth. And now you've got a good electrical connection between the cable and the clip. Put the thing back, simple as that. Now you can use them. You won't have all that high resistance. You might actually find it'll turn engines over. Do the same with all four and you're done. Thanks for watching.